As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of This Is a Gold, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire, fighting back from the lower brackets. He's here for revenge. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. And again, the rematch is upon us. These two did face off earlier in the upper bracket finals, and INexorable did win that series, I would say, in an upset. Typically, I would be favoring MasTeR 100%, but INexorable, he was able to catch him off guard with some hyper-aggressive builds, with some 2-base all-ins, with some 1-base play as well, just non-stop aggression. Some games did lead into 3-base saturation, but that was after INexorable gained a lead early on. So he was just making sure that MasTeR did not have a standard, or did not have a comfortable start to the game. And once again, double gas opener out of INexorable. He does open double gas, which means faster factory, so a much more aggressive start already here from INexorable. Now, the last time we saw INexorable on Whistles of Gold, he did go for a 1-1-1 into an early drop. If you remember, that was the bunker in the main. That was crazy. But he set up the bunker in the main base. I don't expect the same build. I expect something different out of INexorable. And again, it's going to be up to MasTeR to keep up with the aggression of his opponent. Here we go. Oh, right. Also, there we go. Of course, INexorable with that 1-0 lead. There's that factory on the way. We'll see how MasTeR does approach this as well. So far, so good. I'm just going for a gate cybercore into expansion, so standard opener out of MasTeR, and again a more aggressive start to play INexorable. So Reaper does move out. So we're just going to be scouting. We have our Sentry base opener out of MasTeR. This is already a change here from our Protoss player. Sentry openers are very safe way to play this out, as opposed to the Adept opener, which, if you remember, we had non-stop Adept openers from MasTeR in the first time they faced off in the first series. Now, because of the Sentry, that means that he cannot harass across the map, he cannot apply pressure, but what can he do? Hallucination. He can go for the NG overcharge, he can go for hallucination scout across the map to get a full scout of what's going on. And I don't blame him. Remember, last time we saw this map, INexorable, he went for a 1-1-1 on 1 base. So MasTeR is playing very safe, and he follows this up with a Stargate. Already, remember, last series, only Twilight Council openers. Twilight Council into Blink every single game. This time, MasTeR, he's switching gears, Sentry opener into Stargate. Hallucination moves out. We'll get a full scout. Behind this, it's a factory into CC, into 3 ranks. Crazy build here out of INexorable, and the hallucination doesn't go in. Ooh. There's no reason not to. There's no reason. We need to see this. We need to see the setup here. This is the beginning of a 2-base all-in from INexorable, and the hallucination does not go further into the main. MasTeR, he believes he saw everything he needs to. Army dives in, going for the Sentry. Sentry goes down. Massive pickoff. And without that Sentry, that means no second hallucination. A Black Shield battery's not done. Another Stalker falls. Is already getting out of hand. Going for the probes. Getting 1 and getting 2. He's not done. The workers are lining up. Heli volleys going up. Oh my god, brutal connections. Getting 5s. This is game ending. This is already just insane damage. 8 probe kills early on. The Reapers, they survive. They get out. And remember, MasTeR, he sees nothing. The Phoenix is revealed. And he's getting ready for the all-in. He's getting ready for the all-in at this point. Now, when I say all in, this should be a stim timing. As a reminder, we are heavily delaying the starport. There is no starport, there are no medevacs, there's no air support yet. In favor of what? In favor of stim, combat shields, and mass marine. This should be a 2-base all in. INexorable, he will have the option to pull the boys. He could pull the boys with this. Now, we won't be hitting yet. We will be hitting with stim. And this is ideal against Stargate openers. In general, Stargate openers are very risky on small maps. The reason for this is because Stargate openers, what are they designed to do? They're designed to do 2 things: to harass mineral lines and to shut down drop play. And they're ideal on larger maps. On larger maps, when you have more room between yourself and your opponent, what Stargate openers struggle against are 2 base all-ins. And the reason for this is because what can they do? They can lift up 1 unit at a time. And when you're going for a stim all-in like this, what are you going to do? Lift up 1 Marine at a time? When you have mass bio stimming forward and focusing down all the Phoenixes, like they do nothing. They almost do nothing here in the defense. So everything is lining up for INexorable here. And he's already pushing. He's already moving out. MasTeR, he sees the move out. He does have a safety Immortal on the way. That Immortal is going to be the backbone of the defense here for MasTeR. He needs that Immortal. Army's moving out. So we can see INexorable, he does not pull the boys. But this is a terrifying army already. Combat Shields is finishing up. Oh, it's the Dolan build. Lock-on here from the Cyclone. A scan to make sure Lock-on doesn't break. Gets 1 Stalker already. Shield batteries are on the way. That's a bit of an early siege from the tank. A little bit premature. Siege trying to drag the army within range of the tank. Shield battery's almost done. That's INexorable, still just waiting for reinforcements. Tank shot goes off. Tank volley does go off. We have a second Immortal that's almost done. Stim is yet to complete. It does get 1 Stalker. And he will lift the tank, but he's going to get punished for it. 1 Phoenix goes down. Does get the tank, but another has arrived. Oh no! Another tank moves in. Bit of miscontrol there from MasTeR. And there we go. He will siege. He's setting up. You can see him pull back here to protect the tank. Goes for the Phoenixes. I say that those shield batteries putting in a lot of work. Immortals, they're barely surviving. Nah, I spoke too soon. Immortals, they go down one after the other. And INexorable, he has done it. He has broken MasTeR. As the boys, they're pulled into the Bio Army. And with that, that's going to be 11 probe kills. 14! 14 workers go down. Now MasTeR, he will hold. True, he's holding, he's surviving. Behind this, INexorable enjoying a greater economy. Third CC is on the way. Stim is almost done. Remember, this was hitting without Stim. This is all without Stim. MasTeR, he survives. He's getting a second Robo. Scan reveals second Robo, and the Bay does reveal Phoenix Colossus. And now it's going to be on INexorable to defend. Now, MasTeR, he has built up a decent Phoenix count. He cannot fight the main... Oh, Jesus. He cannot fight the main army, but he can get some SCV kills. And it is imperative that that MasTeR, he does find some worker damage, and he does slow down the Terran in some way. He's moving in. He will get eyes on the third CC. And he will delay. INexorable moving out. He will lose a medevac as a result. Interesting move out here from INexorable. He's forcing the Phoenixes to respond. Back at home, I mean, INexorable, he should be able to deny the third. I say that medevac once again exposed. INexorable making some mistakes here. He does slip up. Does slip up. Now again, he should still have enough to break this location. As he's holding onto that Stim. Still just rallying across the map. Hopefully this time he's able to protect and preserve those medevacs. INexorable has to calm down. First Colossus is soon to arrive. Now with 1 Colossus, this army gets deflected. INexorable, he will fail to break this. He retreats. He retreats, he pulls away. MasTeR, he is holding on, he is looking to stabilize. INexorable claiming his third. Now, INexorable, he still has a lead, that is true. Still does have a lead. But INexorable, at this point, he shouldn't fight anymore. He should not fight, he should not push into this. He needs to back off, build up his economy, work towards a Viking production, more importantly. And he's getting into his own ghosts, into his own EMPs. So from here, the game will calm down. INexorable, he did lose a bit of his lead. But he still has it. Now working towards a 4th base. Getting into 2-2 upgrades. And we're calming down. Calming down, we're settling in. And with MasTeR getting up to triple Colossus, he can still pull off a defense. It's still going to be difficult. Like, the big downside here for MasTeR, as you can see, is how small the army is. Sure, he has Colossus, he has Immortals, but the buffer, the support for these high-tech units is very low. He's relying on these Phoenixes to buy time. To buy time for Warpins, to buy time for charge lots. Likewise, INexorable, he should not push without Ghosts. Like, he needs those Ghosts, he needs those EMPs. Scans ahead of time, does see just additional gateways, sees more of the same. See INexorable trying to catch out those Phoenixes, not happening. Oh. These Phoenixes, they pull away. INexorable splitting up his forces. And again, it's on MasTeR to survive this aggression. I do think that INexorable, he's being a little bit too premature. I don't think he should push in. Like, at this point, like, it's not quite possible. He needs Vikings. Just now getting a second starport up and running. EMP doesn't quite connect. Does overshoot the EMP. Dropping in the main, gets completely shut down. Again, INexorable, he's being too aggressive here. He's going to be completely cleaned up. He did not have to be out here, out on the map. INexorable, he's losing that lead. He's losing his advantage. Now getting into 2-2. Again, he still needs time for these Vikings. His fourth base saturated. At this point, both armies are about to max. Both armies are going to max out. They do hit the fourth. Main army moving in, going for the sim. He does get the Colossus, not bad. It will catch one. MasTeR caught with his pants down. MasTeR out of position. Another EMP, good connections. And he stims in, and there's still not enough support. INexorable, he will break through. He will break through. GG gets called. INexorable, he does not allow MasTeR to stabilize, and INexorable takes a 2-0 lead. Whew, GG. Oh my god. GG, well played. That was a very tense game. Again, INexorable, he took a very strong lead early on, and we saw him fumble a little bit here, losing some Medivacs, losing some Marines, losing a drop even as well, but he was able to still just calm down, build up towards Ghosts, build up towards Vikings, and towards the end there, the game didn't have to end, but as we saw, MasTeR, he missed the army movement. He missed the dive right down the center. Because that MasTeR's army was split, his army was split in half, and INexorable, he could fight one half at a time. He was able to fight one half at a time, got the first Colossus. GG. GG, well played. Also, the Phoenixes were also out of position. They were across the map. And with that, INexorable does take a 2-0 lead. The danger Dolan design, yes. Let's go. The Dolan build. As this leads us here into game number 3. This is our next game. Going to be loading into ley lines. Oh boy. And once again, the trend of aggressive builds from the Terran continues. And we'll see if our Protoss can recover. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, down in the series, representing Team Hellfire, down in the series. We'll see if we can bounce back and make a series out of this. It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Team Alien Esports. It is INexorable. Here we go. So we're calming down, we're settling in. And again, last game was also very bold of MasTeR to go for the Stargate opener. We were emphasizing just how greedy it was for MasTeR to go for the Stargate play on Whispers of Gold. It meant that he really had a hard time defending against the first push, defending against the first move out, which did reset the immortal count and did do some crippling economic damage as well. Like, it was a very strong start for INexorable, but it wasn't just that. If you remember, MasTeR, he went for a sentry opener, went for the hallucination, and the hallucination did not scout the main. He saw the edge, he saw the ramp, but he didn't go further back. He did not see the extra Vaxes. He didn't know how committed INexorable was. So MasTeR, he was also working with incomplete information at the start of the game. Information that he should have had, but he didn't. So he wasn't able to scout. This time, for the first time in a long time, economic opener. Ranks expand, a single gas opener out of INexorable, and MasTeR is here to pylon block. He's here to block, he's here to delay, trying to force INexorable off center, and he will have to be. And there it is. CC is going to be off center, second worker comes down, and now MasTeR can more comfortably get into his build. So for a number of games in a row at this point, INexorable, he has gone for double gas openers, but here we're calming things down, we're going for something more economic. This tells me that MasTeR is going to have a little more freedom in the early game, and MasTeR can comfortably get into his own tech and build of choice. Now, because INexorable has been so aggressive this series, and even the previous series alongside it, this tournament basically has been so aggressive, I imagine that this is going to turn into a 2-base all-in. It still can. We'll see if he goes for a second and third racks before Starport. That's going to be the tell. If not, we'll just get into a standard game. If not, we'll just get into a standard setup. Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR, getting into Blink. Reaper's being active. And it is going to be a Starport, not a second racks. Okay, so a 1-1-1 here by INexorable. So it looks like just a standard opener. Getting into reactor to marine production, Hellion, potentially into Widowmine drop. Everything so far just looking normal, looking standard. As standard as you can get in this matchup in TvP. Which means MasTeR, he can just chill, he can just get into his own Blink. Blink is on the way, Gateway is being thrown down. Whew, we can take a breath. We can calm things down, we can take a breath. Likewise, Reaper gets behind the mineral line. He's going to be shut down. Adept likewise being shut down as well. A nice movement there by INexorable. Very nice. Chasing down the Adepts. And we actually saw this the last time we loaded into ley lines. It is going to be a Raven opener out of INexorable. Now, last time we did see Interference Matrix be researched, which I was not too fond of. This time there is no Matrix, and the Raven can be used to harass across the map and to catch out the first observer. Assuming we get one. Meanwhile, MasTeR getting into 3-gate blink. So 3-gate blink, Robo not taking his gases. This tells us he's going for a third. There we go, third base is on the way. MasTeR getting to the mid game. And this is where MasTeR thrives. Like, if MasTeR, if he can comfortably get into a 3-base economy, I do favor him over INexorable. As INexorable is moving out, going for some auto tower harass. Coming on, no mind drop. Raven into the natural. MasTeR's in position. Does blink in. Chasing down the Raven. As Raven does get away. Takes a lot of hits. But does pull away into the corner of the map. Meanwhile, we can see here a tank is in position. There's a salvage. INexorable, he realizes that the stalkers are being kept at home, which means MasTeR is not pushing out. And we're rushing into a third CC. So we're getting to a normal standard game. We're getting to a macro game. Alright. So, for me at least, as a viewer, as a fan, INexorable, he is, I mean, now it's his time to show us what he's made of here in a standard game. So far, every time that he has beaten MasTeR so far in this broadcast has been off of an aggressive advantage, right? Has been off of catching MasTeR with his pants down, or getting an early lead with early aggression, or even just committing to an all-in. That's typically how he's been leveraging these wins. But here, we're getting into something more passive, something more tentative, something that's just a little bit slower here to really get going. So now he's going to be facing MasTeR at his strongest. As MasTER starting down extra gateways, getting a Bay, working towards Colossus. INexorable going for his own double drop. He gets spotted by the Observer. Yeah, MasTER, he responds. He responds to the drop. The Observer sees all. MasTER, he does attempt to intercept. As we can see, the drop does double back. The Observer gets caught. Massive catch. Does pick off the Observer. MasTER still looking for the drop that doesn't exist. And INexorable, he does move out. Unscouted. Uh-oh. Yeah, just using the vision, using the information against MasTER. MasTER, he doubles back. And INexorable, he can sneak up on the fourth. Uh-oh. Can sneak up. Stalkers are revealed. INexorable, he has to respond. They're pulling back. And this space is going to be denied. Massive pickoff. He denies the fourth, but can he get into the third? That's the better question. Scans at a time. Cleans up all the Zealots. Stalkers out of position. They recall back home. But they recall to the natural, not to the third base. Meanwhile, there's a cancel on the expansion. Tanks will siege. MasTER is in a bit of trouble here. Tank volley is going to be going up. Yeah, massive connection on the Stalkers. Stalkers, they all go down. Yeah, cleans up all the Stalkers. Now going for the Immortals, but only Marines left. Boosting forward? Yeah, he's crazy. B boosts in, he will lose everything. Instead of boosting away, and this is now not as worth it for INexorable. He will lose everything. Sniping the fourth base was solid. Trading against the army was fine. But boosting further in, he lost everything. Oh boy. And now here comes a counterattack, and there is nothing to defend. What do we have? We have 3 Marauders, a couple of Marines. That was the equivalent of like a Patience blink. That's the equivalent of Hero blinking forward into tanks and losing everything. As INexorable, he boosted into Stalkers and lost everything as well. INexorable, he's got some bio army here to stem forward. Boys are being pulled. And he will lose so many SCVs in the process. That's going to be 14 SCV kills. Nice juggling here out of MasTER. And GG gets called. INexorable, he will lose everything. And MasTER, he will fight back. He will put a point on the board. GG. Whew. GG, well played. And again, initially, I was on board. Initially, INexorable, he did a great job at kind of juking his opponents, at deceiving his opponent, going for the drop, pulling back, forcing the Stalkers out of position, forcing the recall, sneaking up on the fourth base, canceling the fourth base as well. It was all solid, and then he overextended. He overcommitted, he lost everything in the process. And GG. GG, well played. With that, MasTER does fight back. And we have a back and forth. We have a series. Here we go. Up next, we are going to be loading into Ultra Love. Up next, we have Ultra Love. Getting into Game 4. And we'll see how our players do adjust. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Ultra Love, we have our Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, leading the series 2-1, still maintaining the lead. Can he extend that lead? Representing Alien Esports, it is INexorable. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire, fighting back, putting a point on the board, and potentially beginning his comeback. It is MasTER. We go. Is the comeback real, Pat? Is it real? Let's go. As we do load into, I would say, a smaller map. I would expect to see a double gas opener this time, but we'll keep an eye on INexorable. Yeah, there we go. Double gas opener out of INexorable. This is what he does best. It is going to be a more aggressive start. I mean, I say it's what he does best. Again, I'm not opposed to how he played out that last game. Like, I'm on board. Like, everything was solid, everything was good, until he kept going into the third and even further into the main. Like, that was just, calm down, Pappy, calm down. Okay, INexorable, he got a little bit too excited. A little bit too excited. As the probe does dip in, and Mastery does confirm. He is aware of the double gas. Is aware of the build of choice. And just confirms the factory. And we should be seeing a safe opener out of MasTeR. When I say safe, I mean blink with extra gateways, like a 3-gate blink, into potentially even extra gases at the natural, into a faster robo. And we'll see. We shall see. As INexorable, he does move out. Does move out. CC on the high ground. He's not going for a 1-base all-in. He's not going for a faster starport. It'll be after the command center instead. So this is not as dedicated as we have seen previously. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR, going into blink. Going into blink stalkers. Again, we do expect extra gateways here at the natural. And we'll see what this turns into for INexorable, as he does open up a Reacted Marine. So Reacted Marine into Hellion, into Marine drop, I would imagine. We have seen this already in the previous series and already in this series as well. Yeah, setting up for the early drop. So it's going to be Marine. It's going to be Marine Widowmine drop with Hellion support as well. Previously, this led into the eventual tank push with Vikings. So we're expecting a tech lab after the Widowmine. Into tank production. If so, that would be, I believe, our third time seeing this build. Yep, there it is, tech lab. Tech lab is on the way into tanks. There's a Viking support. Yep, this is the same build. Same build. We've seen this, I want to say this is our 4th time today, actually. If I'm not mistaken. Either our 3rd or 4th time that we're seeing this build. I think third time. Because we saw it twice in the previous series. First time failing, second time succeeding. And so we get the drop here into the natural. Creating an opening. Widowmine here over the army. He wants either a Stalker or an Adept. Oh! Massive connection! 4 probes go down. And nicely done here. Does not get the Stalker, but does get 5 probes. And from here, MasTeR, he will defend. As Shield Battery putting in a lot of work. And oh my god, he does not get out. Massive pickoff. Ay. And initially, it was good damage. 5 probes was solid, but he will lose everything. And with that, INexorable, he has lost momentum. Ideally, he wanted to push here with his tank, but now he cannot. Now he will keep the tank back at home. And he's stuck at home as well. So solid defense here from MasTeR. The game will continue. Robo is on the way. And INexorable, he has to take a more defensive stance instead, rushing into a 3rd CC. So 3rd CC here from INexorable. Viking dropping into the main. But this is a very rough start for the Terran. As MasTeR is patrolling, is in position. Again, thankfully, MasTeR had the safety shield battery. If it wasn't for that, then we would have seen a very different kind of defense. Much more difficult defense, I should say. As MasTeR is poking in. Does poke in. He won't be able to break this setup. Again, INexorable, he's just turtling. He's just turtling up back at home. He's rushing into a third CC. This means that MasTeR has free reign. He has map control. He's containing his opponents. He can take a third base. He can saturate his taking up, taking his gases into Colossus, +1, charge. MasTeR is looking solid. And again, it's INexorable who's in a little bit more trouble here. As he does scan, I believe he will get eyes on. He sees the robo, not much else. Does miss the tech in the main. MasTeR just getting fully saturated, containing his opponent. Just looking to contain. And I mean, INexorable from here, he's not going for an all-in. Now, he has hidden the CC, so MasTeR, he might actually misread this. He does not see the command center here. He does not know how greedy or how economic INexorable is being. I'm loving the SimCity, by the way, as he does catch the observer. He just has a full wall, just cutting this area off. And he's taking, like, INexorable, he's not going for an early push. He's taking up quite quickly here into a hidden Ghost Academy behind the natural mineral line. So hidden Ghost Academy, Viking production has begun. Basically, he's just rushing to a third base, rushing into Ghost, rushing into Vikings, and taking up. It does mean that right now, INexorable, his army is quite weak. It's a little bit lacking here. But it will snowball out of control once he gets his third base up and running. So now he breaks out. We have a Zealot runway getting ready towards the left-hand side. INexorable, he should set up here. Zealot say will distract. Keeping him busy. 1-1 is done. We're waiting for those ghosts. INexorable, he does go for the early push. As he moves out, there we go. Zealot say will distract. Zealot say keeping him busy. Trying to keep up. Main army pushing in. Nice hold here at the bridges. INexorable, he does hold the line. Does spot the army. And there's no way through here for MasTeR. Zealots should be cleaned up. One Zealot gets into the mineral line. INexorable, he holds the line. Ghosts have arrived. And now that he has Ghosts, and now that he has a couple of Vikings, now he has the real strength in this army. Now he has EMPs. He has an answer for the Colossus. Once again, he does run into more Zealots. They just keep running in. And as INexorable keeps up, a big shout to Blakadoo's in the chat. Gab, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Blakadoo's, for the donation, for the $10 tip. Thank you, Papi, thank you. Do appreciate it. Always, Papi, always. Oh my god, there goes though! As 3 ghosts going to be going down, massive pickups. Yeah, rough movement there from INexorable. He gets caught out, so many ghosts go down. And INexorable, he does fumble the push. Back at home, he will defend. INexorable, he's not backing off, he's still moving in. Sieging up those tanks. Does get the EMP off. Not bad. Lands 1 EMP on the Colossus. Zealots, they're getting ready for a flank. INexorable is getting in position to defend against it. Nice EMP on those Zealots. Colossus, they do file in. And MasTeR, can he break this position? Yeah, tanks are being targeted one after the other. Every tank goes down. Massive pickups. And MasTeR, he holds. He holds. He shuts down the army. Again, he caught out the Ghost earlier. Nova goes off. Doesn't connect. But there's just not enough here. Not enough fire, not enough Marines, not enough Marauders. MasTeR, he will overwhelm. And we are looking to tie this series up. MasTeR was down to 0. But he's bringing it back. He's bringing it all the way back here. Again, INexorable, he had a rough start to this game with the initial failed drop. MasTeR, he's on 4, soon to be 5 expansions. Getting a 5th base. Terran is still on 3. 4 CCs on the way. INexorable is trying to macro out of this, but again, INexorable, he is down 40 supply here. He's down heavily when it comes to the army. He's buying time, rolling up. But MasTeR's looking terrifying. And he's looking terrifying here. Knocking down those rocks. Behind this, no tanks, no widow mines, no factory-based units. Never goes off. Oof. Takes down a couple of Marines. A couple of Marines are going down. MasTeR pulls away. Building on more disruptors. Second Robo's in production. Dark Shrine as well. Ay, ay, ay. MasTeR moving in. And INexorable, he just can't keep up. MasTeR, he's maxed out. He's maxed out. 200 supply. Novas, they pop up. They just zone away the ground army. Time and time again. Novas, they connect. Ay, ay, ay. They do connect. Massive connections. GG gets called. And MasTeR ties up the series 2-2. GG. We have a back and forth. We have a series. We are tied up. Again, INexorable just had a very rough start to the game. Remember, he went for a 1-1-1. He went for a double gas opener into an early drop, and he lost everything. He lost the entire drop. He lost all the Marines, lost the Widow Mines. He was forced to be more defensive as a result. He did build up on 3 bases into a pretty hefty army. I did like his overall Ghost and Viking timing. But if you remember, before the fight occurred, he got caught with his pants down. He lost 3 ghosts trying to push through the center. He lost some very valuable units, and those would have been 3 more EMPs, right? Just 3 more ways to zone and other ways to just strip away the shields and to get a better fight. It was a brutal loss there for INexorable. And with that, we're getting into game number 4. Up next, Amygdala. Let's go. We're loading into Amygdala here. And we'll see if INexorable can bounce back, or we'll see if MasTeR will maintain that momentum. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, being forced into a tied series. Again, he had momentum. Can he bring it back in his favor? Alien Esports. It is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the blue Protoss representing Team Hellfire, bringing us back here, winning 2 games in a row. Momentum is on his side. It is MasTeR. We go. So we're calming things down, we're settling in. Welcome one and all to Amygdala. Amygdala, of course, is one of the largest maps in the map pool, one of the larger maps. And we'll see how our players will approach this, as INexorable, despite that, goes double gas. Double gas opener out of INexorable. Now, the last time we saw INexorable on Amygdala, he did go for a... not quite the 1-1-1, that was on Whistles of Gold. But we did see an aggressive build out of our Terran. We'll see if he does it again. So double gas into a faster factory. As the probe gets locked in, MasTeR is going to be forced to use a recall to save the probe. As there's no way out for said worker. We'll confirm the factory at least. And we'll even force an NSCV off the mineral line, so it's forcing some inefficient mining. It's getting some damage done. There's the recall. Does recall back home. We'll save the probe. For those that are curious, it is more efficient to recall the probe and to save it instead of using that energy on a chrono boost. It is more worth it. So it does save the worker. Likewise, Reaper moves out. It is going to be a very early, insanely early tech lab. Okay, we're not going Reactor Reaper Hellion, really early Tech Lab into an early tank. I would imagine we can go Tank or Cyclone. Tank or Cyclone into a Starport, into early drop. Hyper aggression here from INexorable, a build that we have not seen from him yet in this tournament. So this is going to be early Cyclone. Getting to early Cyclone production. Meanwhile, Twilight Council opener out of MasTeR. Ooh, Cyclone into a second Rax. This screams 2-base all in. As there is no Starport, we spoke about this earlier, but we are heavily dealing the Starport in favor of more Marines, of early stim timing. Oh. I'm assuming we're going to get a Tech Lab. Yeah, we're going for the third Rax as well. Yep, 2-base all in out of INexorable. And MasTeR, he did not open Sentry. He opened Adept. And hey, to be fair, the Adept is getting some damage done. But the Cyclone is revealed. This is already a bit of a tell. Now, the problem here is that this could still be a 1-1-1 Cyclone drop, for example. There could be a Starport here to get ready for some drop play. This is not a sign of what we're seeing here with extra Raxes. Extra Raxes into early tank production, into an abundance of Marines. So MasTeR still has no idea what's happening. Back at home, safety shield battery. Again, he's just getting ready for the worst. Safety shield battery. Robo as well. We do get the lock on. Up. The Stalker goes down. Massive pickoff. Cyclone gets away. And here come the Tech Labs. Here comes Stim. So again, this should hit with Stim and combat shields. And INexorable, he will have the option to pull the boys. He could pull the boys with this as well. As INexorable is setting up his tank, his goal here is to catch a Stalker. MasTeR taking his third. MasTeR still has very, very limited information. He hasn't seen anything since the initial probe scout into the main and the attempt. Now the Observer's on the way. The Observer should confirm. Meanwhile, Stim is already on the way. Stim is on the way. There's combat shields. Observer's moving out. Is there a world where the Observer gets sniped? No shot. If INexorable can, if he's looking at the same time, he's looking at the moment, at the right moments with that Cyclone, he can scan and lock down the Observer. Does he notice a shimmer? Does he notice? Up! Observer's moving in. He notices! Oh my god, he hides the Marines. He hides the Bio Army. Oh no! He hides it. Ay, ay, ay. MasTeR is getting his third, going for a Forge. Is getting a Safety Immortal, and here he comes. Here he comes. The boys are being pulled 2-base all in out of INexorable. He did notice a shimmer. And he commits. And MasTeR, he's not ready for this. He's no shot. I mean, Stalkers, they will intercept, thankfully. Stalkers are moving in. Going for the Cyclone. Cyclone is going to survive. Oh, but it barely goes down. Trades with the Stalker. Again, there's 3 tanks with this. SCVs, they do mineral walk past. Yeah, racing past the army. And remember, the third base doesn't really matter too much. It's all about the natural. And he ignores the third. Good call here from INexorable. He ignores the third base. He's going for the kill. He will siege up. Yeah, tanks do siege, zoning the army away. He's within range here of the natural. Stalkers, they're getting ready to move in. Massive tank. Oh my god, the tanks, they annihilate the Stalkers. Gateway goes down. Charge is not ready for this. Bunkers on the way. Stalkers are trying to catch reinforcements. They are trying to. They get 1 Marauder. They get 2 Marauders. But there's plenty of reinforcements coming in. Now, charge is almost done. Ooh. Some miscontrol. Charge almost done. And tank boys going off. Boys being pulled. And can he break through this? The Immortals are getting on top of the tanks. He gets 1. 1 tank goes down. He breaks down 1. He's going to get the second tank, the third tank as well. But there's still just so much left over. As another tank has arrived. He's going for it. Oh, can he save the Immortal? Can he save it? Oh, the boys are being pulled. Barely does save the Immortal. The army's overstimmed. MasTeR, he's holding. MasTeR, he's holding on. Sniping that final tank was huge. And the longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. Okay, he breaks down the first bunker. Army was out of position. He needs that Immortal. He does need the Immortal. Nice target firing on the Marauders. And with that, MasTeR holding. MasTeR holding on. He's doing it. Remember, INexorable, he pulled the boys earlier. He barely doesn't have enough. Again, losing that third tank was brutal. And that's going to be game. That's going to be MasTeR. He has a third. He didn't lose it. Remember, he saved the third base. He has a higher probe count. He has Immortals. He was so... INexorable, he was so close. He was so close, papi. Ay, ay, ay. He was on the brink, on the cusp of breaking his opponent. I do think the bunkers are too far back. The bunkers are too far back. The tanks, they were too far back as well. He wasn't within range of the pylons or the shield batteries or much of the natural. The positioning was not ideal. And with that, MasTeR, he's snubbling out of control. MasTeR, he now has a massive advantage, massive lead. I do like the build overall of INexorable, but I do feel like the execution was lacking towards the crucial moment. And MasTeR, he's now getting a fourth base. Now, the one chance that INexorable has here is to go for a second all-in. If he can pull off a second all-in, he'll have to pull all the boys again. He has to pull all the boys for a second time. INexorable does get eyes on this. Potentially not. I was gonna say, if he can catch MasTeR before the Colossus, but once that first Colossus pops, he's fine. Like, MasTeR, he's gonna hold. He's going to defend. INexorable, he wants the Observer. He will get it. And it's all or nothing here, but again, I don't have as much faith in this. Here we go, the boys, they're all going to be pulled. Every single one. That's why we have everything here. Yep, and there we go. Every single boy is being pulled. There's nothing left at home. Now, if he can get on top of the Colossus, then he can win the game. But there's force fields. Like, there's Sentry, there's force fields, there's the shield battery, we even have hallucinations. Army moves in, it gets spotted by the Zelnaga tower. The SCVs are a little bit too far back. They do get forward. They do rush forward here. Tanks do siege. Again, he wants that Colossus. They'll take him in from the flank, though. They're coming in for the flank. The Immortals, they hold their ground. And tanks are going down. Yeah, tanks, they go down. GG gets called. MasTeR, he does hold, he does defend. And MasTeR, he takes a 3-2 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. And again, INexorable, he was so close, Pap. He was so close. Oh my god, he did everything right? He was able to hide the all-in, he was able to snipe the Observer, he was able to get across the map unscouted, he ignored the third base, going straight for the natural, but again, I do feel like he did siege a little bit too prematurely. When it came to the tanks and when it came to the bunker positioning, it did feel a little bit too reactive or a little bit too sporadic, whereas I do feel like he needed to get into a better position to actually threaten the production and threaten the natural base. He was a little bit too far back, and alas, he wasn't quite able to get much done with it. On top of that, very important that we saw MasTeR get on top of the tanks when he did, specifically the third tank as well. That third tank was sniped barely towards the end, and with that, GG. GG, well played. A very intense hold. Very intense hold. And that leads us into game number 5. Whew. Oh boy. Leads us into game 5 here, and MasTeR is 1 game away from becoming our champion. We'll see if INexorable can force the ace match. As spawning in the top right hand corner of Frostline, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports, down in the series 2-3 after being up 2-0, by the way. We'll see if he can recover. We'll see if he can force the ace match. It is INexorable. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. 1 game away from becoming this month's Amantes champion. It is MasTeR. Here we go. Whew, as we load into a very large map. Welcome to Frostline. Frostline is a large map, and the map pool very large. Long rush distance by ground as well. But one of the big features, one of the differences between Frostline and, say, King's Cove, Amygdala, Neon Violet Square, compared to all these other larger maps, here we do have exposed third bases. The third base and the fourth base are very exposed, very open, very accessible, so 2 and 3 base all-ins can hit very hard on this map. They can hit quite hard. So we'll see what INexorable goes for as he does open up economically. Single gas opener for the second time this series. Mastery scouts, he confirms, no second gas. So Mastery knows what's going on, he's aware, he will immediately go down to block the expansion and to delay the economy. So it does move down. Does force the off-center expansion. Does force the CC off-center. And behind this Master, he can open up Stargate if he wants to. He can open Stargate, he can open Blink. The world is going to be Master's oyster. Again, Master, he can be very comfortable and he is free in the early game, as he has nothing to be concerned about when it comes to early game aggression. We can see INexorable is scouting for proxies, checking for gateways. And we're getting ready here for a longer game. As we have macro openers. Here we go. So just stretching. Don't forget to stretch. Don't forget to stretch, baby. Whew. As again, Twilight Council into Blink. From here, Master, he can even just cut corners. He can go 2-gate Blink to a third. He can play economically. Meanwhile, 1-1-1 out of INexorable. Just going for the 1-1-1. Wanting to be proactive with those Reapers or with those Marines. Trying to catch out that first Adept. But the second Adept has arrived. And INexorable, he will fall back to the bunker. CC does reposition. Shades do not get here in time. They will get behind the mineral line, but last are going to be denied. Hellion has arrived. Oh! A Hellion runs into the Adepts. Rough setup here as the Hellion is barely going to escape. Just barely on 2 HP. Barely gets away. Does get away here. Likewise, going for a Raven opener, once again going into Interference Matrix. We actually saw this in the previous series on Ley Lines, if you recall. Interesting. So it does open up Raven. I said this before, I'll say it again. I'm not really too fond of going for Interference Matrix. Nowadays, there's just a little bit less utility with this unit, especially early on. Just because it's so common to open up Blink into Charge into delayed Colossus and delayed Robo units. But we'll see if it comes into play later. Meanwhile, how many gateways? We have 2 gateways here at the natural. We have 1 gateway in the main, so 3-gate Blink out of Master. Technically, you can disable the War Prism with this. True. Can disable the Prism. And you can try to catch it out. As Mastery does claim the third. Again, he didn't take his gases at the natural, so he does rush into the third. And he will soon move out. Mastery moves out across the map. INexorable back at home. He's getting ready here to receive. Okay, there's 1 tank in the main, a bunker at the natural. As a result, Mastery could dive into the natural base. He can focus on that bunker. There are more Marines in position. Scan reveals lack of gases. Going for the dive. Oh, not quite. Prism overextends. Yeah, Prism should not be here. Massive pickoff. Miscontrol by Master. Does miscontrol. And now there's no high ground vision. Yeah, no high ground vision. Boys are being pulled to repair. Does focus on some of the Marines. The tank does move down to low ground. More boys are being pulled. Does force an overreaction here from INexorable. Does force that reaction. Raven getting in position. I believe there's one observer. The observer is at home. Likewise, so is the prism as it is rebuilt. And there is nothing threatening the main. So far, good defense here by INexorable. So far, he does have a good defense. Meanwhile, MasTeR saturating his own third, getting into his own Colossus production. It's building up. It's building up. Prism towards the main. Xiaomi is ready for this. MasTeR rotates over. Up, blinks in. It does go for the dive. Tank is in position. He does threaten some of the production. And this is going to be a bit of an awkward defense here from INexorable. But he will zone this away. Will zone away. Going for a double drop. There is an adept in position. And the War Prism does scout this. And MasTeR sees, he knows. He lets INexorable know that he knows as well. Parking the War Prism over the Medevacs. Vikings, they bait him in. Okay, not bad. Prism gets baited. Prism is going to go down. For the second time this game. And INexorable is getting ready for his move out. Now behind this, he's on a 5-rack setup. So 5 racks is we are reactoring out those Vikings. This is a hefty army for INexorable. He has been defending this entire game. Now it's time to break out, and the boys are being pulled 2 base all in from INexorable. Either he ends the game or he dies trying. Now back at home, I believe there is a Colossus. Yeah, there's one. There's one Colossus so far. But that's what the Vikings are for. As MasTeR does try to engage, the boys are going to be revealed. MasTeR has to kite back. The Colossus is already taking a volley to the face. One Viking goes down. A massive missile goes off. Yeah, and with that, the Colossus, it gets disabled. Massive disable. Army stims in. Tanks, they're going for the natural. Second Colossus about to blow out. Oh, now there's 2 Colossus. Now there's 2 Colossi. Zealots, they charge in. Tank shots here on those Zealots. Stimming on forward, going for the Colossus. Colossus does go down. He gets 1. Takes down 1, dives on the Stalkers, and INexorable, he's done it. He has done it. He takes down the little Stalkers. Rotates over towards the natural. Doesn't stim in yet. Oh, Zealots are coming in from behind. Uh-oh. They catch reinforcements, going for the tanks. Tanks, they move in. 2 tanks, they still stand strong. He takes down the Robo. And 1 Colossus, that's all there is. That's all he has left. And it's going to fall to the Vikings. It does go down. Massive pickoff. And we're going to the ace match. We're going to game 3. There's just not enough here. Zealots, they trickle into the bio. Tanks, they've done their job. GG gets called, and INexorable with the 2 base all in. He will tie things up. We are going to game 7. Whew, GG. GG, well played, MasTeR. He did not scout the move out. He did not see the boys being pulled. Likewise, because MasTeR lost both War Prisms both times, it meant that he couldn't counterattack, right? He couldn't counterattack with Zealots. He couldn't try to catch any reinforcements either. He was quite limited with the vision and with the presence that he had on the map. And on top of that, he got caught out in the open, right? If you recall, he was trying to be active in the center of the map. Once he realized the boys were being pulled, like, he had to get the hell out of there. He had to get the hell out of there. He had to pull all the way back home. No shield batteries, no sack defense, no nothing. GG. GG, well played. We're going all the way to the ace match. Whew, oh my god. And let's see how this story ends, as the final game is going to be on Abyssal Reef. Getting ready for that final game. We're loading into one of the largest maps in the map pool. Let's go. As spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Abyssal Reef, we have the Brazilian Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Team Hellfire. Being forced into the ace match. Can he bring it back? It is MasTeR. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have as opponent, we have the Brazilian Terran player, the Red Terran, representing Alien Esports. bringing us to the ace match. Can it go all the way? It is INexorable. Here we go. And personally, I just love how back and forth this has been. Again, coming into this, I was favoring MasTeR 100% in this series, but INexorable has shown us time and time again that he can take it to MasTeR. But now I'm concerned because we are now loading into one of the largest maps, I should say the second largest map in the current map pool, second largest only to Neo Violet Square, and aggression is not favored here. Now, there's a lot of factors coming into this. First things first, we have a ramp. We have a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, so this is a very defendable natural base location, very difficult to push up into this ramp. Likewise, because of that, you can very easily wall this area up, and you can focus your defenses at the third location instead. Third location also is very defendable. To push into the third base, you have to snake your way from the center up the ramp in towards that third, or knock down these rocks, or you have to come in from the right hand side, also up a ramp as well. It's just a very defendable location. You're very difficult to really engage. Likewise, the fourth base is right next door, the fifth base also right next door. It's a very easy 5-base setup here on Abyssal Reef. On top of that, long rush distance by ground. On top of that, we do have a lot of choke points in the center of the map as well to try to take some better fights. So all that coming to the conclusion here, it's very difficult to be aggressive. And INexorable, he's been nothing but aggressive. That's how he's been winning these games. Has been with 1-base play, 2-base play, early game, just aggression, crippling damage. We'll see how INexorable adjusts here on Abyssal Reef. For now, double gas opener. I believe this is scouted. MasTeR, he's aware. Double gas into a CC. So an aggressive start here, not all in. Yo, I'm still reminded of Amygdala, like, the series could have been over by now in favor of INexorable in that Amygdala game. It was just so close, so intense. Ay, ay, ay. What races do Light play? Zerg. Unfortunately, no Eric here today. I mentioned before, no Eric in this tournament. Unfortunately. Here we go. INexorable going for his own 1-1-1 follow-up. Behind this, MasTeR, he does open up with a Twilight Council. Now, we should be expecting a 3-gate blink. Technically, because of how defensive this map is, we could see 2-gate blink into a faster third base. We'll see how economic MasTeR wants to be, or how safe he plays. So we are building up. It's the same build. We've seen this now. This is at least the 4th time we've seen this build. Going for the tech lab, rushing into the early tank production. Last time we saw this, we had early Vikings as well, but it's going to be a Liberator follow-up. So we've seen this build quite a lot already here, going for Marine Widowmine. We saw this on Ultra Love in this series, if you recall, where MasTeR, he was able to shut this down completely. Hopefully INexorable, he doesn't lose the medevac as quickly this time. As again, this build was shut down on Ultra Love. Medevac into the natural. Does unload. Army's out of position, busy in the main. So far, denying mining time, no major damage yet. Going for the warping, and Stalker gets one. Stalker goes down. Mind Shot going up. Getting a probe, and INexorable, he does escape. He does get away. Now remember, this is not the purpose of the build. This is just distracting. This is getting early game damage. So far, 1 probe, 1 Stalker. Nothing major. We've seen this do more damage in the past. We've seen this get 5 probe kills. What's important is the follow-up, the early tank push. Remember, tank production really early on. It was the initial Widowmine into Tech Lab, into 2 tanks, into an early push. And INexorable, he's setting up for it. Oh, nice positioning here on top of the ramp. Widowmine does set up. Meanwhile, the army's in position, going for the medevac. Medevac is under fire, and the medevac is going to be targeted down. Massive pickoff. We do see the Marines a trade. They do get one of the Stalkers. He gets one. Can he get the other? He can. 2 Stalkers go down, so we do have a back and forth trade here. Mind Shot going off as well, getting another Stalker. Yeah, that's 3 Stalkers going down. And here comes the push. Here comes the main point of this build. It's all about that double tank push, that double tank timing. Second tank is moving in. Viking is here to land. Landed Vikings actually trade insanely well against gateway units. And MasTeR, he doesn't see this coming. Now, he is going to engage ahead of time. He's going to try to slow this down. Remember, Blink is done. MasTeR, he does get one Marine. Picks off a Marine. Gets another. Again, picking off whatever he can. Tank does siege. Tank, I believe, is not within range of any of the buildings, but is within range of the ramp. Oh my god, he blinks in. He's crazy. Does blink in. Gets one of the tanks, but he will lose all the Stalkers in the process. Stalkers are going down one after the other. Massive losses here from MasTeR. He does get both tanks, though. It barely gets both. And remember, the backbone of this army was the tanks. And he holds. Whew, he does hold on. 0 tanks left. INexorable trying to move in. Shield battery is done. Again, that was a crazy blink out of MasTeR, but it was worth it. Upon sniping both tanks, there is a third tank. There is a third tank. But INexorable looks like he has recognized this push has failed. Is expanding. Third TC is on the way for INexorable, and was this worth it? In the end, I mean, he did trade and he did get 8 Stalkers. True, that was a lot of Stalker kills, but alas, MasTeR has a third. He has a third base, is getting fully saturated. MasTeR, he has the greater economy, getting his third base up and running, throwing down extra gateways. So MasTeR comes out ahead. Sure, he may have lost some Stalkers, but he can afford those losses. He can't afford it behind it, so going to his own safety immortal production, working towards charge. So we should be seeing charge, forge, +1, into delayed Colossus. And the pressure is on INexorable. Now, one thing I will say is because the map is so large, even though INexorable, he didn't get the damage he was hoping for, the ability for INexorable to recover and to get into the mid game is higher here, just because aggression is more difficult to pull off. We mentioned this earlier, scan into the third base, gets eyes on saturation, but INexorable, he should be able to freely take his third and saturate, but even though that's possible, MasTeR should be the first player to take a fourth, to get his fourth base up and running, to get it also saturated. MasTeR, he should be able to gain map control, and it should be on MasTeR to contain INexorable on 3 bases. Oh, as he does overextend. But again, it should be on MasTeR to just contain and to keep INexorable on a low base count for as long as possible and take advantage of the map and snowball out of control from there. It's a dynamic we see very often on these larger maps, whether it's King's Cove, whether it's Amygdala, Abyssal Reef, near Violet Square. MasTeR, he shouldn't be afraid to mass expand. Oh. Setting up spoiler pylons. Charge on the way. There's the bay for Colossus production. Do you see INexorable hoping to catch the Observer? Observer over towards the left-hand side instead. Keeping eyes on any kind of drop play. Ghost Academy is on the way for INexorable. So the next big power spike for INexorable as he's getting up to a 3-base economy is going to be the Ghost production. Ooh, as the medevac gets spotted. Again, shout out to the Observer. Observer does spot the medevac. MasTeR is aware. But Ghost production is soon going to be on the way. Viking production as well. So INexorable, he will have a comparable army. And MasTeR, he hasn't expanded yet. By this point, he totally could have. He totally could have taken a 4th base. As again, he's successfully containing his opponents. So late 4th base out of MasTeR. Meanwhile, remember, he did see the drop. Does shut it down. INexorable trying to break out. MasTeR playing this out very safely, going for Colossus production. Still no expansion. But here comes a push. Here comes a push. INexorable, he rallies everything across the map. What does he have to work with? He has 2 Ghosts. He has 7 Vikings. So he's going to have 2 EMPs. Now, because he didn't take the expansion, there's no shield batteries. There's no shield batteries here to support. Again, it's a late expansion, so he won't be able to take advantage of this when it comes to the defense. The boy, oh my god, the boys are here! He's going for the all-in. The boys have arrived. MasTeR, he had no idea. I mean, I had no idea. I did miss this as well. The boys are here. Mind Shot going off. Ooh, brutal friendly fire. Colossus under fire. Colossus goes down. Yeah, Colossus does crumble. Charge also gets stuck behind the army. Vikings, they come in from behind. We get a full surround, and INexorable, he's done it. He locks down the army, takes down the Immortals one after the other. There's one Immortal left. Oh, barely does escape. But INexorable, he's done it. He's broken the back of MasTeR. He is heavily overstimmed. But he's breaking. Geez, he stims again. Oh, God. He is overstimmed. Colossus is on the way. He will take down the third, but the third doesn't matter. The third doesn't matter here. MasTeR, he has to buy time, picking up more Marines. Does pick up more Marines. INexorable, he pulls away. Did kill the third, did deny the fourth. He has to be careful, the Colossus will soon arrive. And INexorable, he has to keep going. He cannot back off. He is completely all in. Nice force fields, locking down the army. Oh, popping up. Popping up does save the player. Colossus does overextend the Colossus. It's going to be hunted down. There's no shield battery. The Colossus goes down for free, Bobby. Colossus does crumble. But the longer this goes on, the better it is for MasTeR. Can he buy more time? He's getting more warp-ins. Oh, that's EMP. EMP goes off. The cells, they should be cleaned up. And INexorable, he's doing it. He barely, he breaks through. GG gets called. He breaks the back of MasTeR, and INexorable with the all-in. He does take the series 4-3, becoming this month's Amantes champion. GG. Ay, ay, ay. GG, well played. Congratulations, INexorable. Ay, 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 papi. Oh my God. INexorable here. I mean, the game was slowing down. He was getting his third base up and running. He did have that timing with those 2 ghosts, and he went for it. He had 2 ghosts. He had 7 Vikings, and he just pulled all the boys. And MasTeR, he didn't see it coming. He did not see it coming. If you remember, MasTeR at the time, he was distracted sniping the Windmine drop. His stalkers were towards the south side. He was still building up. As you mentioned, MasTeR, he was playing it safe by delaying his 4th base for a long time. That is true. He was securing himself by getting earlier Colossus. But because he didn't see the move out, he had no defensive structures. He had no shield batteries. He was lacking side defense at the third, at the natural. Likewise, because he didn't see the boys until they were already in his face, he was caught off guard. He was a little bit too proactive when it came to his army. He got surrounded. GG. GG well played. An intense final game. INexorable is our champion. And I just appreciate how close the series was. It was very intense, very back and forth. INexorable was, of course, very aggressive, but different forms of aggression, right? Like 1 base play, 2 base play, 3 base play. Very little like straight up macro play, not at all. We had a lot of timing attacks and a lot of aggression, and yeah, MasTeR, he was keeping up for the most part. He was able to keep up. He was able to go blow for blow. I was favoring MasTeR when it came to a standard game, but we never really had a standard game here at any point in this series. We never really had like a standard kind of coming into the mid game, coming into the late game. We never had any late game either. We never got there. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here to INexorable, and a shout out to MasTeR as well for making a good series out of this as well. It's one of those things where you don't make for a good finals with 1 player, you make it with 2 players. Like it was MasTeR and INexorable that came together to make this series possible. So GG. GG, well played. A big shout out to our top 2. Congratulations to INexorable for becoming our champion, and shout out to MasTeR for claiming that runner-up spot as well. GG. GG. Just catching up. Jesus, so many Brazilian tournaments. There's a lot, right? There's Code for Giants Cup, there's Amantes, there's the Host Open, there's also the Hellfire Cup, so that's 4, and there's also the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit. El Circuito Brasileiro. There's quite a lot happening in the Brazilian scene. I mean, a lot of these are like monthly tournaments, or like, of course, like the end of year finals for the Brazilian circuit. But shout out to the Brazilian scene and the Brazilian community for making all that possible. They're very passionate coming together. And what I will say, este huevito in the chat, is that I would say the Hispanic region is kind of catching up with that as well. I think the HSL is a really nice start. Like the HSL coming out and also being crowdfunded is really good start here when it comes to bringing back Latin American StarCraft. And I'd like to believe that we might be seeing some maybe more Latin American centric tournaments in the future as well, especially with the success of HSL. I think there's more incentive for that sort of thing. We'll see. No, can't I just have residency? Este huevito. Time to marry in to be Brazilian. Let's go find INexorable. You can do it, Pappy. You can do it. It's the eggs. But GG, well played, congratulations, and hope you all enjoyed yourselves. Yo, shout out to Sinistro in the chat as well. Yeah, Papi, obrigado. Bom dia, bom dia. But GG, well played, and again, hope you all enjoyed yourselves. As a reminder, Amantes de StarCraft, this is a monthly tournament. Every single month we have Amantes, but we might be going on a bit of a hiatus. As I mentioned before, today there was no code for Giants Cup because of the Brazilian circuit, and we might be delaying and postponing Amantes this month as well, also for the Brazilian circuit. So right now there's a lot of focus, there's a lot of attention on the Brazilian StarCraft 2 circuit, and that means that these open cups, the weeklies and the monthlies, might be on hiatus until it wraps up. Just as a heads up. So I'm ladder now. Oh god. Maybe. I might have a shorter ladder session this time. So when it comes to our schedule, let's switch our scenes over. Let's switch on over here to our schedule. Bam. Here we go. We just wrapped up with our Wednesday morning broadcast. We just wrapped up with Amantes. You can see later on tonight at 7 p.m. KST, that is going to be 8 p.m. AST. That's going to be 7 hours. In 7 hours time, we're going to be live with the Pondcast. That is our weekly talk show where we go over all the news of the week in StarCraft 2. The reason why I'm tentative saying that I'll ladder is because I do have to catch up on the White interview. Right, he had a very lengthy interview. I think I'm halfway through. I'm a quarter of the way through. I'm a quarter of the way through the interview because there were 2 parts, and it's really interesting. It's really cool. Hold on. I'll show it off a little bit here. I'll show it off. Do I have the power? Do I have the technology? Let's see. Bam. You can see here, interview with Raiwa about esports and the beginning of professional career. So this is a huge interview. Like there's like photos. Raiwa, he goes into like the early days of Brood War, how he got into StarCraft, how he got into esports, his first tournaments, his first team, like the PC Bang experience. Like this, it's actually really in depth and really good. I like there's a bunch of like photos for context. There's some early like videos as well. Like it's huge. It's a huge interview, and then this is where I am. I'm like a quarter of the way through. Okay, right here he's talking about like WSG, and he's talking about like 2003, and like there's just so much to this interview. Okay, shout out to Wyra, by the way. Shout out to Wyra. But that's what I'm currently reading, and we're going to be discussing it during the podcast. We also had the fantasy interview. Fantasy had an interview as well with Zombie Grub, and we're going to be discussing that. Also going over early Brood War and the switch between Brood War and SE2. Again, that's typically the stuff that we discuss when it comes to the podcast, alongside all the weekly results. So look forward to that during the podcast. And yeah, I typically take notes whenever we go over stuff like interviews, things to talk about, things to discuss, and all that stuff. And I still have to finish it. I still have to wrap it up. I still have to finish it before the podcast so we can actually talk about it. So because of that, I think we might have a latter session, but it'll be a shorter one. It'll be a shorter one just because I do want to spend some time and go over the interview and you know, be ready for the show. Would be nice if we're ready for it. But that is the plan. Again, for the podcast, we just go over all the events of the week and any kind of news as well, any like roster changes and any other announcements. Of course, we do have tomorrow the Turtle Tussle. The Turtle Tussle is going to be tomorrow. We have the Rex April Madness Finals tomorrow evening. We have StarCraft Evolution League King of the Hill on Friday. We have Fire Cup playoffs on Saturday. We have SCL Kung Fu Cup and Sparkling Tuna Cup. Again, we are live twice a day, every single day. We have half a day off on Friday, by the way. But I have been recently streaming more frequently. I now have a reason to commit. Now, there are some downsides to it because I've been streaming and because I've been laddering a lot more this week. It means that I have less time to edit VODs and to schedule VODs, so I'm on a tighter schedule. I also have less time to sleep, so that's less than ideal. But I have reason to, because I will be playing soon TM in a big brain bout show match, and I want to be informed. I want to be informed. I want to be locked in for that sort of thing. So I will have some hours of ladder today, but only a couple, less than usual, just so I can catch up with the interview. That'll be the plan. That'll be the plan. Was a great interview. Yeah. Can't promise I'll be able to catch from the beginning, but I'll do my best. It's all good. So do it off stream. Focus on the game. Yeah. For sure. Yeah, I'll read the interview off stream, of course, and I'll catch up on it. Oh god. But yeah. So I guess it's time. It's time to stream, time to ladder. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Thanks so much for tuning in. Again, we're live multiple times a day, every single day. We have a jam-packed schedule as always. And again, we'll be live on this channel in 7 hours time. In 7 hours time with the podcast. Otherwise, if you want to support us, you can do so via Patreon. !Patreon in the chat. And you will get a link to our Patreon channel, where we do where it all does fund our tournaments. It funds specifically Sparkling Tuna Cup alongside Duckling Open and MasTeR Swan Open as well. It is all funded via Patreon. So if you want to help support us, if you want to help support StarCraft, the players and the community and the scene, you can do so via Patreon, as we do host events on a regular basis here on the CranKy Ducklings. So it's all available there for you if you wish. Otherwise, follow us. I know there's a lot of StarCraft going on. There's a lot of tournaments, there's a lot of content. It's hard to watch everything live, like the podcast, for example. So if you can't watch it live, then check us out over on YouTube. YouTube here, or socials. You'll get a link to all of our links, and of course, you'll get a link to our YouTube channel as well. We do upload on YouTube on a daily basis. There's plenty of content on YouTube. There's plenty to indulge in. So check out our YouTube if you want to watch those VODs. If you can't watch something live, YouTube is the place to be. Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for the support. Hope you'll enjoy yourselves. And again, look forward to more resilient StarCraft, because there is a lot more coming up in the coming weeks and the coming months. There's a big offline event happening in Sao Paulo in Brazil. So look forward to that. We're going to be the official English casters for that. And we'll be featuring players like these two finalists, like Allison, like INexorable, like MasTeR, Eric, Kamikaze, Yan, Shakti, and many more. So do check that out. Otherwise, thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. I'm going to head off. I'm going to have a short ladder session, only for a couple of hours before catching up and getting ready for the podcast. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time. We'll see you either in 7 hours, or we'll see you tomorrow for the Turtle Hustle. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Pappy. See you soon.